Advanced Financial Modeling, Topic 6, Forwards and Futures, Learning Objective Number 6, Understanding Futures Delivery and Cheapest to Deliver. So let's talk about the concept of cheapest to deliver. An exchange-traded futures contracts call for the delivery of a specified commodity of a specified quality and quantity and a location and particular dates. However, you cannot specify in many cases the quality specific enough to guarantee exactly what's get delivered. So, for example, the short party will always have a choice of what asset to deliver. So, for example, what if there were just a beer futures contract for college students or a wine futures contract for college students, and it says that you must deliver, the short party must deliver 1 6-pack of commercially available lager on this particular date for $5 a 6-pack or $10, whatever it is. Or you must deliver 1 liter of wine. Well, what do you think is going to get delivered? Well, if you're the short party, you're going to go to the store and find the cheapest beer that meets the contract terms. So that might be, say, I don't know, Old Milwaukee or something for beer. And for wine, it might be Boone's Farm, the cheapest wine you can find on the shelf. However, so that could create problems because the long party doesn't necessarily want the cheapest one, but it's hard to specify exactly the asset you want in all cases. So, a hedger may require different locations, different dates, different quality of good. So for that reason, most futures contracts are not held to maturity and no delivery is actually made, which seems crazy. You enter into a futures contract to buy a commodity, but you don't hold it to maturity and it never gets delivered. So let's talk about what's going on. 95% of futures contracts are unwound, meaning that the person that went initially long or as a buyer goes short right before maturity, before the expiration of the contract. So, for example, Hershey goes long 100 cocoa futures contract for, say, December delivery, and say right now it's in July. However, in December or in late November, what they do is they go short 100 December futures contracts. Now they went long, they went short, they are out of the contract, and they're just going to get a check based on the two different differences in the futures prices. So why would they do that? Well, they don't actually want maybe delivery of that particular asset, or they don't want it delivered exactly where the contract specifies, or they don't want the exact quantity. So let's do this example for Hershey. Assume they go long the 1-year December's futures contract. Say January 1st, 2019, they enter into a long position to buy cocoa on December 15th, 2020. So it's a 1-year contract, a little bit less than a year. However, they're going to go long on that particular day at some futures price. We'll call it F1119. However, maybe a few days before delivery, 12 months later almost, they go short that exact contract. So now they're long at whatever this futures price was. I'm sorry, they went long at whatever this futures price is, and then went short the next one. So they're long at F1119 and they went short here. So they're a buyer at one asset price, and then they're a seller at another one. So that is going to be their profit. Effectively, they're going to trade with themselves. It's going to be bought and sold for those two different prices, but it's not actually going to result in any kind of delivery. And then that's going to be multiplied times the contract multiplier, which is often, we just call it the quantity. So the multiplier could just be metric tons or pounds or something like that. Each contract would specify what the quantity is for one contract and multiply that times the number of contracts. So say each contract is for 100 or is for 1 ton, and they have 10 contracts, each one's for 1 ton. This would result in a payoff being equal to the difference in these two prices times 10 tons. Now, if the spot and December's futures price rise, remember, so why would they get into this situation where they go long in January, then go short? Because they don't want to deal with delivery. So what benefit is there? Well, what if just prices rise. The prices of cocoa rise. Well, they went long when the price was low. The price got higher, so they shorted here. They're going to make a profit on the two and then take that profit to buy their cocoa wherever they like to buy it. So that's the actual advantage. What they're doing is they're using the contract to protect them against price changes. If prices go up, they're going to take that profit and then just buy cocoa where they normally buy cocoa. So that's the idea of delivery and unwinding. In this case, there are the forward contract, the futures contracts are never held long enough to result in delivery. They unwind the contract by taking the opposing position. If you're initially long, you go short, and then they use any profits, in this case, to buy the more expensive cocoa wherever they buy it. So here's the example. Say that the New York Board of Trade contract specifies each contract is for so many tons of cocoa, and it specifies, the price is specified on January 1st, 2019 at $25.50 per ton. And what if everyone knows that the cheapest to deliver cocoa that meets the specific contract parameters is the cheapest cheapest deliver asset is going to be Ivory Coast cocoa, the cocoa made in the Ivory Coast. Now, nowhere in the contract would it say this is an Ivory Coast cocoa contract, just everyone understands that is the cheapest to deliver. Just like if there's a beer futures contract that says deliver a lager in December, everyone would know what the cheapest beer is. So, in this example, in January 1st, 2019, Hershey would enter into 10 contracts, or I'm sorry, 100 contracts for Ivory Coast cocoa at a price of $25.50. On that date, we'll just say the spot price was $2,500. So it was a $50 forward or futures spot basis. Then December 15th, 2019, right before delivery, maybe the day before, they enter into a short position to unwind the position, and prices rose to $3,500. All right, so prices went up from $2,500 to $3,500. But now they're out of the contract. So let's think about what just happened. First of all, if Hershey Food did not hedge at all, they would have paid $3.5 million for their cocoa. Right? If they just waited, remember that the prices of the spot price and the futures price converge at maturity. If they just waited till December, they would have paid $3,500. So we call that the unhedged cost. However, Hershey Foods entered into that contract at $2,500, then unwound it at $3,500. They're going to make a profit. That profit is going to be the difference between those two prices. The prices they went short, that $3,500, minus the price they went long, $25.50, times the number of contracts. They're going to get a check for $950,000 from the exchange, because they're a buyer at $25.50 and they're a seller at $3,500. Then they're going to buy their Ivory Coast cocoa in the spot market. When you add these two positions together, they're paying $2,550 or $2.55 million for Ivory Coast cocoa, which is exactly what the futures price was. So why did they do this again? Because they didn't want to take delivery, maybe it specifies in Chicago on this day. They want to use their local broker in cocoa, their local contacts, to buy cocoa on the exact day in which they want delivery to the exact location they want it delivered. So what they did is they just used this contract to pay them if the price went up, but they went ahead and bought cocoa where they normally buy it. So this kind of gives you an example of why you generally don't want to hold the contracts to maturity and take delivery. It's just easier to take the profit and buy cocoa where you normally need it. Let's talk about this from the perspective of a farmer. Why would the farmer do this? So the farmer would take the opposite position. They would initially say, if the farmer's trying to hedge their position, they expect to have a crop of cocoa in December. In January, they would take a short position to sell 100, and they would unwind it in December by buying. These two profits will be flipped, just change the position of these two, and they would make money if the price of cocoa falls. And why would a farmer not want to deliver? Because they want to deliver to the local market. They're not delivering to, say, Chicago or New York. So in that case, everyone's better off. They've all protected themselves against price, and no one goes through delivery. You're just hedging using the futures contract. You're hedging the price using futures contract, but you buy or sell the commodity where you normally buy and sell the commodity. So that's the example of a cocoa farmer using a short hedge to hedge the falling in prices. So in the next one, we'll talk about futures basis risk.